I'm Eric Paul Johnson.
And I'm Eric Winsenson.
Oh, and here, I gotta put my hand in this. Just a second here, I forgot. Madeline wanted to throw this out, not throw it out, she wanted to put it in the yard sale. I saw it, said, no, I want it. So, we a fish puppet now. Try and make things interesting. So, what I thought I'd do is when reading the replies, it's going to come out of his mouth. This fish here is going to represent our listeners, at least when I say it. Because there have been times when we've been reading replies and then the reply is over and then we start commenting, and sometimes it sounds like I'm still reading that person's reply or the other way around. So this is how you'll know when the person who left the reply is doing it. It'll be the fishy mouth here. I gotta get some use out of it because I liked it and I didn't want it to go into a garage sale. So although
Okay,
working
well, I'll just get out the Punch and Judy dolls.
well, it's better than the real doll that I used to have before I got a wife. So
True.
although I'm gonna have to use my left hand to work the trackpad for the mouse. All right.
Well, you still had to do that with the real doll.
I can do things.
Yes.
Yes. Like creep people out. I think we just did that.
Yes, we did.
There are a few comments for Who's That because I forgot to check the YouTube pages before gathering together all the comments. So we'll start with 3 comments about Who's That.
Okay, well, one is from Aaron Jansen. I always get excited to share this one with people. No lead up given, so they think it'll be a serious song, and then the looks on their faces just crack me up. The shock value is gorgeous. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way. Oh, you got to hear. Oh, telephone line and can't get it out of my head. Oh, sure, those are great. Here's another serious song from E.L.O. And they're yeah. What the huh? Okay. And by the way, I never gave a name for the fish. I don't know what to name it just yet. Oh, is it? Oh, there. Now I know it's. I got what we have to say.
Yes,
Blocking half
you
my
got the fish.
screen.
You got the fish in the screen.
Let me here this way. Move. Okay, that'll be better. Okay. Hellbag has this to say. He's from YouTube. Still better sound quality than Foon. Yeah, it was.
And MJ says, "Thanks for passing on the message, guys. Friends from Oz love them."
Um, Last week, I think somebody in one of the reply threads, somebody sent out a message to MJ, scanning over this. I cannot find it. Oh, here it
It
is.
was something about come home or your mom's calling you or something like that.
It was something like that. Let us know when you're in town or what. Oh, here it is. Maureen Murray. Hope you get home safe, Mark. Your mom's so looking forward to seeing you. So we passed the message on. MJ got it, and you're welcome. It's one of the features here of the E.L.O. podcast of, we'll, send messages back and forth to each other. And there's a fee for that, so expect a $500 bill. All right.
Yeah.
Now moving on to comments. Well, we got one comment about, one comment about the Flashback box set, or Flashback bonus tracks episode. Oh, I have a little fish here. There we go. Completely agree with your assessment of Flashback. Oops, I gotta fix the page. Oh, all right, I gotta take my hand out of the fish, which is not the first time I've ever said that. Okay.
No, I'm sure it isn't.
All right. Mark Gillis. Completely agree with your assessment of Flashback. Probably leaning more with EPJ on rating. It's a worthy addition to my collection. Love the Lewis Clark tribute. A vital member of the band, as well as the tracks you highlight. I'd note that the difference he brought was there from the off. El Dorado Overture is not only a wonderful piece of imagery, but also a great alarm clock chime. Oh, I can see that. Yeah, that would work. See, this is where the puppet comes in handy. Gentle at first, but then really racks it up to say, "You really need to get up now." I had never noticed before how Hitchcockian the instrumental version of Above the Clouds was. The things you realize when you are enjoying a good listen. That actually is a pretty good alarm clock chime. Mine is just, well, let's see if I can bring that up here real quick. Do that. Let's see if the microphone will pick it up. I'll turn this up, so it should. This is my alarm clock. Stop. So that's guaranteed to that definitely wakes
Be
me
broken.
up. What's that?
It's guaranteed to be broken.
Well, it's my
I wish
computer.
I had a pile of alarm clock pieces here to say this is my alarm clock after it did that.
Yeah, well, my alarm clock comes out of my computer, so I don't want to have to spend $1,600 for another alarm clock.
My alarm clock says meow.
Is it fluffy and warm?
It's fluffy and warm and has no regard for the fact that the actual alarm is set for an hour later.
But it purrs when you pet it right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, it's good to have in a wife.
I was thinking more the cat.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The cat's hairier than the wife. Thank goodness.
I hope so. Okay.
Okay. So sorry, I was just thinking of the time I was going to spend on the couch. Night is Right says I'd pay for that album on vinyl in a heartbeat. He means the one that was the whole the imaginary album of all those outtakes and everything.
Here it is. Yeah, Alexander Van Petersdorf. Yeah, on the bonus tracks episode for Flashback. If you haven't heard it, oh, you ought to go do that. It's right here on YouTube. It's also iTunes and every place else. Alexander Van Petersdorf said, it would be a good whole album of, bonus tracks and stuff. And he gave a list, and I played a little sample of each song. And that's the album that Night is Right would buy on vinyl in a heartbeat if it existed. So we have a couple of reviews here since we got a little time to pad out. The first one here is from Terry Parkin. I got to put my fish on again. Keep up the podcasts, Eric. They are fun, and I do enjoy them when I can. I really enjoy them and your in-depth analysis of E.L.O. songs. Oh, thank you very much. Not everybody feels that way, which Eric will tell you. This is a review we got on iTunes that's been sitting around since June 20th, 2019. And I don't know, waiting for a time when something needs to be padded out to read this review. So, and Eric will take it.
I think I've referred to it a few times in some of our
Yeah, I think
shows.
we have. Yeah.
Pete Tillin says, don't bother. Two guys who clearly know very little about music tell us little more than I like and I don't like about every song in E.L.O.'s discography. I was hoping for some real in-depth analysis. Chords, production techniques, musical structure, etc. Nope. Well, you mean we do the podcast as advertised, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you would probably be the only listener. In fact, I don't think this guy probably listens anymore anyways, not for the last 2 years, but he would be the only listener if we were sitting there picking apart every little chord structure of a song. God, I could just imagine 3 hours of
God.
why Jeff Lynne used reverb on 2 notes in Telephone Line.
It's
and how that affects the emotional impact of the piece of music. Oh God!
Yeah, I can get into the emotional.
Myself to sleep as it is.
Yeah, I can get into the emotional impact of a song, but if I'm going to dwell on how that G clef note with the vibrato added and the touch of echo and the little bit of synth right there on that part just brought it all home. I just
Yeah.
yeah.
No, neither of us are really professional musicians or anything close. But even if we were, I would not do a podcast like that.
Yeah, we know little about music. Well, as I said in episode, oh, I should look. The camera's over here. Don't look at the screen. Look at the camera.
Mhm.
As I said in episode 000, I'm the rube who just, song makes me happy. I like. And Eric over there, when Sensen, he's more of the musical critic, expert, reviewer kind of person who sees the deeper things into things than me. Who's like, oh, a song make my foot tap, and I go, yeah, and sing. I like. Um, yeah, in-depth analysis, chords. The internet's full of websites that tell you how to play the chords or tablature. I've used it. It's not 1980 whatever anymore where it's kind of like I don't know how to play this song. I'm going to have to go to the music store and hope they have the sheet music for this song. No, the internet, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Production techniques. I would be interested in the production techniques. I like playing with sound and all that stuff. I can get into Jeff Lynne's, obsession with that kind of thing. What bores me and makes my eyes roll back in my head and just, oh, Jesus, is listening to people talk about how that stuff is done. I had a studio recording class when I went to community college back in the early 90s. I guess we're done with the fish now. Goodbye, fish. I don't have a name for him yet. I don't know.
Squishy.
Squishy. Um, and there was studio music recording 1, that was one semester, and studio recording music 2, that was the second semester. And the first semester was boring. I am fascinated by recording and I love doing all that kind of stuff. But that first semester was just, here's how you do this. And you got to alter the dBs to match the XBs and with the infinity. And the out of phase is what can do. And that just stuff drove me nuts. It was the second semester I wanted to get into where we actually did the recording. We went into the studio that was there at GCC, 16 track, mixing board and the microphones, and you got all these reel to reel and DAT, and you get to do the actual recording of yourself for other bands. That's the fascinating thing. The doing thing is the fascinating thing. Yeah, I would love to go in to a studio with Jeff Lynne, 70s, early 80s, and watch how it's done. But telling you how it's done, telling you is so boring. And musical structure, that would be boring too. If I knew, and also I don't know. If I knew how to do musical structure, I would have made better songs. And I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast. I'd probably be selling records.
Right. And telling how to do something is the main reason why at my actual job, I have a lot when we actually are hiring people and there's no pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Why I spend a lot of time with people because they spend a lot of time showing how to do stuff
Yes.
on a screen with modules and
Mm-hmm.
how to do this and how to do that instead of letting people into the system because one idiot at some point decided to do something nasty and they went, oops, so we shouldn't let these people in. No, you should let people in to do stuff because down the road, those of us assisting the trainers end up having to tell people how to do everything. Have to sit there and tell them everything they should have learned because they weren't allowed to touch the computer.
And how long were you in that HR meeting for putting that naughty thing in there?
I did not put my naughty thing in any computer. No, I forget what it was. If I did remember what it was, it's probably too much information where I couldn't really say anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it was basically it's one of those reasons why you be careful about who you hire. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. But I do have some advice for P. Tillin. Camera's up here. Stop looking at myself. I do have some advice for P. Tillin. Do your own podcast. It's not. It's it's really pretty easy. I think we show that every week. Everybody has a podcast. It's easy to do. Get yourself a microphone. You don't even need a good one. Most computers, they already have the microphone in them. They don't sound good, but it records. Audacity is free to download. That's what I use to record and edit and mix the podcast. And $120 a year or so to Podbean, unlimited download space and bandwidth and all that stuff. And do your own E.L.O. podcast that digs deep into the chords and the production techniques and the musical structure. And if you do that, I'd listen to that because I'm curious. I am curious about that. And here's the other thing for why we don't really get as deep into it as you would like us to. It's really hard finding out stuff about every E.L.O. song. And Jeff Lynne doesn't help when in his liner notes where he talks about each song, he says, well, I guess the lights went down. That tells me nothing. So there's only so much in depth we can get without getting in a TARDIS or stealing a time-traveling DeLorean and crashing the recording sessions or the production sections or the songwriting sessions and, getting to Jeff while he's there. Hey, Jeff, can you tell me what the meaning is behind Who's That? Or, what do you mean with the band has since grown a third eyebrow? Just let me know so I can write this down and I'll get back to it in about 30 or 40 years. So,
Yep, we hop into Dolores and take it back.
well,
that's what somebody's friend at work thought was the car from Back to the Future was a Dolores. No, Dolores is the customer service rep you call about the DeLorean.
Yeah.
She's the only one they have there because they can't afford really to have anybody else.
Yeah.
Because Mr. DeLorean used up all the money on Coke.
I believe the case was dismissed as entrapment. So
True.
I don't know. I was going to say something else to Pete Tillin, but I forgot. But, start your own podcast. Clearly any rube can do it and just put it out there.
Yeah. Clearly, because even, on our end, we've got 150,000 listens.
Over 150,000 now. So
over 150,000 listens. And I think a lot of it is due to the other Erics being able to actually produce a good sounding podcast out of all this mess.
Well,
and
I am awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. The Jeff Lynne database. That's where we get like 99% of our stuff about this and a little bit from Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
somebody already did the work for us. That's the good. Yeah. That's the good things.
Yeah. Without the Jeff Lynne database, it would just be this song is on the album and it's this track because it's got all kinds of interview, quotes from interviews and also remakes that were done when there were remakes and recording sessions where recorded and all that stuff. So, yeah. Without that, we'd be looking at liner notes and
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Which has proven to be unreliable at best.
At times, yes. I'm in the process of trying to make some E.L.O. posters, and there's somebody at the Corey Gilmel's Blue World Facebook page that said, no, those dates are wrong. Here are the dates, and this is the stuff I have to back up to prove that those are the release dates with. And I got to get back with him at some point to straighten all that out. So, all right, I guess that's it for me, Eric Paul Johnson, and Eric Winston.
Squishy.
And
or whatever we're going to call it.
Squishy or Blobby. I don't know. Kissy face. I think. I don't know. It's got some very nice lips here.